Lakers history stems back a little further. In fact, it goes back to Minneapolis. This was the 100th Game 1 hosted by the Lakers ever. 22-point loss is tied for the worst. The other, the 72 finals, where Walt Frazier and the Knicks beat Wilt and Jerry West in that Game 1. That was the only game New York won in that series. LA took the next 4. NBA Countdown crew has more on reaction to this Game 1.
So it's the Minnesota Timberwolves that gets the best of the Los Angeles Lakers here in Game 1. Perkins said repeatedly, I can't just call it a punch. It was...
They got dropped.
It was a little bit more than that. What was it that made the difference here for the Minnesota Timberwolves in this game?
Well, they were making threes, and they put the Lakers on their heels offensively because they were making threes, number one. Number two, they got aggressive. They got all up in them defensively. Number three, I don't know if anybody's going to mention this, but I'm going to mention this. Where was LeBron James tonight? He was very, very lethargic. Very lethargic. And this Saturday night, I don't know what the hell was going on with him. J.J. Redick went on camera and said, quote, "We don't have any energy. It's like guys don't even recognize that it's the playoffs. What the hell is going on up in here?" He was scratching his head, looking like he had dandruff, for crying out loud, because he couldn't figure it out. This is the kind of stuff that you're talking about. I don't suspect this will happen in Game 2, but that's how much J.J. was scratching his head, because he couldn't believe what we couldn't believe. Luka showed up offensively. He was a liability defensively, and LeBron James was a liability, period, and nobody on Minnesota was, and that's why they won this game.
A playoff franchise record, 21 threes for Minnesota in this one, Perk.
I mean, that's been J.J. Redick's game plan the whole entire season, right? Pack the paint and force guys to make shots. And Bob Myers called it luck, and it really is. These are professional athletes, right? These guys on Minnesota can make shots. Anthony Edwards, Dante, even Julius Randle knocking down the three at a pretty nice clip. But again, it was the defense for me. They made them uncomfortable. Got on their heels like a pair of church socks. That was the difference maker.
And Jaden McDaniels. I mean, two things that I looked at this game was Jaden McDaniels and how would Ant-Man handle the traps and different things like that. Jaden McDaniels had 25 points, career playoff high, and then on the traps. Ant-Man, you grew up tonight, dog. You really grew up. And sometimes as a very, very talented player, the hardest thing to do as a coach is to get him to make the easy play. He made the easy play.
So you're J.J. Redick. You're going back to the drawing board. The most important adjustments happen oftentimes between Game 1 and Game 2. The onus is on the coach who lost to be able to bring it in Game 2. That's J.J. Redick. What do you do?
I go back to a little bit more of Jackson Hayes at the 5. I get back with more of that lob threat for Luka. And then on defense, we got to figure out what we're going to do with Ant-Man. That same defense didn't work. Him packing the paint, him getting in the paint, bringing 5 guys, and daring him to make the right play. He grew up. That doesn't work anymore.
Luka scored 37, didn't mean a thing. LeBron James got to show up. It's the playoffs.
The playoffs continue today on ABC. We'll see you on NBA Countdown at 12:30 Eastern.
And Malika, following NBA.
Physically, we were ready, if that makes sense.
Julius Randle putting some muscle in his hustle.
Maybe it took us one playoff game to now get a feel for it.
They turn over Doncic. Connolly pulls the 3.
I think it was physical. They were hitting a lot of threes.
Pulls the 3, and it's wet. Wide open Randle. Cash out. DiVincenzo holds it and laces the deep 3.
We weren't physical. They were running. They were getting anything they want, and we got to be better with that.
All right, we'll see if they're able to do that in Game 2. Anscape senior writer David Dennis Jr. and 13-year NBA veteran and analyst Quentin Richardson join us now. Let's start with Wolves-Lakers, guys. What was your biggest takeaway from Game 1 of this series, Q?
Man, I was extremely surprised with the game that LeBron James and the rest of the Lakers had. I felt like that the Minnesota bigs, they came out, they impacted the game in a major way. The wing guys shot the ball well. You had a big game from McDaniel. And obviously we knew that Ant was going to be, the feature guy for them. But I felt like that McDaniels was the second big guy on their team. He had a huge game playing both ways. And the Lakers got to get ready, man. The Minnesota Timberwolves are serious, and they up 1 on them already.
Yeah, from the moment Luka got to that Lakers team, I've been questioning the sustainability of that Lakers defense. Last night, I think we got our answer. The Wolves got everything they wanted from that team when Lakers were trying to defend. They blew by at the point of attack and passed the ball out to open three-point shooters. The Wolves shot 50% from 3, and the Lakers, if you're J.J. Redick, you may say, hey, that's not sustainable. But I think it is, because they were 9 for 12, 75% on corner threes. A lot of those were wide open. The Lakers have to shore up that defense, and they still got outscored by 11 points in the paint. There was just no defense in that Lakers squad.
Yeah, like you said, it was one of the biggest questions that we had had since Luka got to LA. Okay, so Wolves Lakers, that was one of our 4 games yesterday. Q, what other things stood out to you from Saturday?
Man, the Denver game, I want to say Joker, I want to say Aaron Gordon, but Russ Westbrook, man, Russ Westbrook made play after play. He wasn't perfect, he wasn't, flawless, but he made play after play to help his team come through and get a big-time win yesterday. And I feel like Jamal Murray showed up, Aaron Gordon showed up, and the rest of that supporting cast, Christian Braun, everybody showed up. I felt like the Clippers had a great game, but I felt like those guys came through down the stretch for Denver and got them the W. This is going to be a great series, this Denver Clippers series. I'm super excited for this one.
Yes, that will be a great series, but the thing that stuck out to me was that Pistons fourth quarter meltdown. They played pretty much a flawless first 3 quarters, and then they pulled the Benjamin Button. They waited until the end to get young. They just melted down in that fourth quarter. You start the quarter off without even getting the ball inbounds and the 5-second violation. I can't remember any time I've ever seen anything like that. 7 field goals made, 6 turnovers. They looked shell-shocked in that fourth quarter after playing a pretty flawless first 3 quarters of that game. They let this one slip. If they lose this series, they'll go back to that 21-0 run in that first quarter and say that is the way. That is the reason that they lost.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was watching that game and then I left for a little bit. I came back and I was so confused. The Knicks' 21-0 run is the 3rd largest by any team in the fourth quarter of a playoff game in the play-by-play era. It was wild. Thanks, guys.
Sports Center, Christine Williamson, Phil Murphy here with you. The NBA playoffs tipped yesterday with a quadruple header main event in Los Angeles, but Ant Edwards and the Wolves stole the show. Take it to the 3rd quarter. Lakers down 20. Jaden McDaniels picks Luka's pocket. Mike Conley transition 3, 37 years young. Wolves up 23. Then Edwards. LeBron whiffs on the steal. Ant hit 323s in the regular season, by far a career high. Felt like Minnesota hit that many in this game. They had 21, still a playoff franchise record. Ant had 22. Wolves won by 22.
Clippers facing the Nuggets in their game 1. Clippers trail by 2 with 20 seconds left. James Harden, floater. Yep, that's a tie ball game, ladies and gentlemen. We go to overtime. Just over a minute to play. Nuggets up 1. Jokic to Christian Brown. That's a 3. Nuggets go up 4. 10 seconds left in the game. Clippers down 3. Batum tries to inbound to Harden, but Westbrook is like, no, he's hype. Harden is frustrated. Nuggets go on to win this overtime thriller, 112-110.
Eastern Conference, Knicks and Pistons, their first playoff series since 1992. Jalen Brunson left the floor limping after the 3rd quarter. Tibbs said he went to go grab his cape. That was